In a small village in Nigeria, there lived a young woman named Oda. She was beautiful, intelligent, and kind, but she carried a secret that no one knew. From a young age, Oda had realized that her body was different. She was born with both male and female organs, a condition she had kept hidden from everyone, including her closest friends and family. She didn't know how to explain it, how to make sense of it, or even how to accept it herself. Every attempt to live a normal life seemed to lead her deeper into confusion and shame. Throughout her teenage years, she struggled to form connections with others, particularly with boys. She found herself attracted to them, but the idea of intimacy terrified her. Every time a relationship seemed to get serious, she would pull away, afraid of what might happen if they ever got too close. The fear of rejection, of being misunderstood, was too much to bear. In the dormitory of her university, she always dressed in layers, hiding herself from the world, afraid that someone might discover the truth. The girls in her dorm would often ask why she never went on dates, or why she never seemed interested in relationships. But Oda always found a way to deflect their questions, with a nervous laugh or by quickly changing the topic. One night, Oda's life took an unexpected turn. A thief had broken into her family's house, hoping to steal valuable items. But as he quietly made his way through the rooms, he accidentally entered Oda's room. She woke up, startled to see him standing near her bed, a knife in his hand. Her heart raced, and for a moment, she froze in fear. But the thief, sensing her vulnerability, started to advance on her, attempting to take advantage of the situation. As he got closer, he touched her, trying to intimidate her into silence. However, Oda's body reacted in a way that left them both shocked. The thief was taken aback as Oda, despite her terror, responded with an unexpected intensity. She had both male and female organs, and when the thief tried to force intimacy upon her, he quickly realized that something was not right. The thief, in his confusion, was forced to stop. In that moment, Oda's secret was nearly exposed. He didn't know how to process what had happened. He had no idea that what he had just discovered was the very thing Oda had spent her entire life hiding. After a tense confrontation, Oda managed to escape, running to her parents and telling them everything. The thief was caught and taken away by the police. But the shame Oda felt that night was overwhelming. It was a moment of deep vulnerability, one that no one would ever truly understand, not even her family. As Oda grew older, the weight of her secret only grew heavier. She tried to have relationships, even falling in love a few times. But each one ended in heartbreak. She couldn't bring herself to be fully intimate with any man, despite the love she had for them. The fear of rejection and the shame of her secret stopped her from ever getting close. Her parents, though they tried to be understanding, couldn't help but feel confused by her inability to form a lasting relationship. They sought out doctors, spiritual leaders, and therapists, hoping to find a way to fix her. But no one could offer a solution. No one could understand why Oda struggled so deeply with intimacy. Then, one day, Oda met Chuka, a kind, understanding, and patient man who, for the first time, didn't push her. He didn't ask too many questions, and he didn't pressure her. Oda had never met anyone like him. His love was gentle, slow, and unassuming. They fell in love over the course of months, and for the first time in her life, Oda began to feel safe enough to let her guard down. But even with Chuka, she couldn't tell him the truth. Every time they grew closer, her fear resurfaced. She could feel the tension building, the moment when she would have to face the secret she had hidden for so long. She wanted to be honest, but she feared losing him. The night was supposed to be one of joy, a celebration of the love that had blossomed between Oda and Chuka. After months of careful anticipation, the wedding day arrived, bringing with it a blend of excitement and nervousness. Oda had prepared herself for this moment, the moment when she would reveal her deepest secret to Chuka, the man she loved more than anything. She had kept it hidden for years, but tonight was the night to be open, vulnerable, and truthful. As they entered their honeymoon suite, a blend of soft lighting and candlelit shadows illuminated the room. Oda's heart raced, knowing that this was the moment that could change everything. Chuka, dressed in his wedding suit, looked at her with love in his eyes, unaware of the storm that was about to unfold. Chuka, Oda began, her voice trembling. There's something I've never told you. Something about me. Sensing the shift in her tone, Chuka smiled gently. You can tell me anything. Oda took a deep breath, bracing herself. I've never told anyone this, but I think you deserve to know the truth. I've been hiding it my whole life, because I didn't know how to explain it. But I want you to know. I was born with both male and female organs. The room seemed to fall into silence. Chuka's face froze, his smile faltering. For a long moment, he didn't speak, and Oda could feel the weight of the silence pressing against her chest. She watched his expression shift from confusion to disbelief. I don't understand, Chuka stammered, his voice strained. How could you hide something like this from me all this time? I thought I knew you. Oda's heart sank, her own words echoing painfully in her mind. She hadn't wanted to hurt him, she hadn't wanted to cause this rift between them. But now that the truth was out, she felt as though the world had crashed down on her. Chuka stood up, his face red with anger. All this time, you've been lying to me. You've kept this secret, and now you want me to accept it. His voice rose, full of hurt and confusion. I can't believe this, Oda. The tension in the room was suffocating. Chuka turned away from her, his back stiff and rigid. I don't know if I can do this. I can't even begin to understand how this affects our relationship, how it affects everything. Oda felt a cold shiver run down her spine. She knew that this revelation could end their relationship, but hearing his words, filled with fury and disbelief, felt like a dagger to her heart. She collapsed onto the bed, her body trembling, her breath ragged as she fought to hold back tears. I never wanted to hurt you, Chuka. I never wanted this. I thought you'd understand, she whispered, her voice barely audible, but Chuka was no longer listening. His mind raced, his emotions overwhelmed by betrayal. Without another word, he stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind him. Oda was left alone, the weight of her secret and the pain of his rejection crushing her in the dim-lit room. The days following the revelation were a blur. Chuka's anger quickly turned into gossip, and soon, the small town they lived in knew all about Oda's secret. The shame that she had carried for so long became a public spectacle. Friends turned their backs on her, and her family struggled to understand what had happened. Oda's heart shattered. The rejection from the man she loved, compounded by the gossip and the cruel judgments of others, drove her to the brink of despair. Her parents, though devastated, tried their best to comfort her. They sought medical advice, hoping there might be something that could be done, but there was no way to erase the truth. Oda felt like an outcast, as if she were destined to live a life of rejection and loneliness. The pressure, the humiliation, and the heartbreak pushed her to the edge. In a moment of darkness, Oda stood on the edge of a cliff near her family's house. The weight of everything, the rejection, the shame, the lost love, felt too much to bear. She thought about ending it all, about escaping the pain forever. But just as she was about to make that fateful decision, a voice stopped her. Oda, Don't, a familiar voice cried from behind her. She turned to see her best friend, Emeka, running toward her. He was panting, his face full of concern. "You can't do this," Emeka said, his voice trembling with emotion. "You are worth so much more than this. Don't let them destroy you." Oda shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know how to live with this. I can't even tell the man I love the truth, and now he's gone. Everyone's gone." Emeka stepped forward, wrapping his arms around her in a protective hug. "You're not alone, Oda. You never were. You've got us. You've got me. And someday, someone will understand you. Truly." Months passed, and though the scars of her past lingered, Oda began to heal. She focused on herself, her education, and her own self-worth. But deep down, she longed for love. She wanted someone who would accept her, someone who wouldn't run from the truth. One day, while walking through the marketplace, Oda encountered a man named Ikenna. He was kind, gentle, and most importantly, when she opened up to him about her past, he didn't flinch. He didn't judge her. Instead, he listened with compassion and understanding. As their friendship grew, Oda found herself opening up to him more and more. Eventually, love blossomed between them. Ikenna didn't just love her despite her past. He loved her for who she was, in all her complexity. Together, they built a relationship based on honesty, trust, and mutual respect. On their wedding night, Oda stood before Ikenna, the love of her life, and once again faced the fear of being rejected. But this time, there was no hesitation in her heart. She told Ikenna everything, the truth about her dual organs, the pain she had endured, and how she had kept it hidden for so long. Ikenna smiled at her, his eyes filled with kindness. "Oda, I love you for exactly who you are. I don't need you to be anyone else." In that moment, Oda realized that love wasn't about being perfect. It wasn't about hiding who you truly are. It was about embracing it and finding someone who would accept and love you unconditionally. After their wedding, Oda and Ikenna's life slowly started to piece together. Though their bond was strong, the lingering weight of Oda's condition remained a part of her, one she struggled to move beyond. The physical discomfort and emotional scars caused by her condition were not something that could be easily forgotten or ignored. It wasn't just a matter of self-acceptance anymore. It was about having the opportunity to live a life free from the burden of her past. Ikenna, ever the supportive husband, understood her struggles. As much as their love was healing, he knew there was more to be done. He began to research and seek out the best possible specialists who could help Oda fully embrace her body and relieve her of the physical and emotional burdens she had carried for so long. Through countless hours of research, Ikenna discovered a renowned clinic in Europe that specialized in gender-related medical conditions. He knew this was the key to Oda's peace of mind and healing. But there was one major obstacle: money. Ikenna, though successful in his own right, had never anticipated such an expense. However, his love for Oda was boundless, and he refused to let the costs stand in the way of her happiness and well-being. Over the following months, he worked tirelessly, utilizing his resources and even seeking financial assistance from his family and friends. He didn't care how long it took, as long as he could make Oda's dream of becoming whole again a reality. When the funds were finally raised, Ikenna sat Oda down one evening, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "Oda, I've been working on something. I know how much this has weighed on you, how much you've suffered, and I want to give you the chance to heal completely. I've arranged for you to go abroad for surgery, to get the medical help you need, to truly become the person you were always meant to be." This is your time, Oda. Your new beginning. Overwhelmed by the gesture, Oda couldn't contain her emotions. Tears streamed down her face as she hugged Ikena, feeling a surge of gratitude and love. You've already given me more than I could ever ask for, Ikena. But this is a gift I never thought I'd receive. Thank you. The surgery was scheduled for a few months later. Although Oda was nervous about the procedure, she felt a sense of relief knowing that she would finally be able to take the step toward healing. Her body had always felt like a prison, a reminder of everything she couldn't change. But now, with Ikena by her side, she felt hope. She would finally be able to live a life without the weight of shame, rejection, and fear. The journey to Europe was filled with anticipation and uncertainty. Oda, now fully supported by Ikena, boarded the plane with a mixture of fear and excitement. As the aircraft ascended, she gazed out of the window, wondering how her life would change after the surgery. When they arrived at the clinic, Oda was struck by how welcoming and professional the staff was. For the first time in her life, she felt truly seen, not as someone who needed to be fixed, but as someone who deserved to feel whole. The medical team, with years of experience in dealing with conditions like hers, provided a sense of reassurance that Oda had never known before. She had always been hesitant about her identity and body, but the doctors made it clear that her path to healing would be a careful, thoughtful, and transformative process. The surgery was complex and required several stages of recovery, but Oda faced it with remarkable courage. Ikena was with her every step of the way, staying by her side in the hospital, holding her hand through every moment of pain, and offering comfort in her moments of fear. As the weeks passed, Oda's body began to heal, both physically and emotionally. She went through a rigorous process of therapy and rehabilitation, all while gaining a new sense of empowerment. The changes weren't just about the surgery. They were about accepting herself and reclaiming her body, her identity, and her life. By the time Oda had fully recovered, she was a changed woman. She no longer felt defined by her past, or the secret she had hidden for so long. The physical changes she had undergone made her feel more comfortable in her own skin, but it was the emotional transformation that was truly life-changing. She had learned to embrace herself completely, without shame or fear of judgment. When Oda returned home to Nigeria, she was greeted with love and acceptance from her family and friends. They had watched her struggle, and now they were seeing her thrive. Ikena, too, was filled with pride and joy at the woman Oda had become, strong, confident, and fully healed. They began to build a future together, this time without the weight of secrets. Oda started a new career as a counselor, helping others who had faced similar struggles with identity and body image. She wanted to give back, to show others that they too could find peace and self-acceptance. Ikena, ever supportive, stood by her, watching with admiration as she helped people discover their own strength. Their love blossomed in ways that Oda had never imagined. Together, they traveled the world, shared their story with others, and built a family. Their love wasn't just a source of strength for each other. It became a beacon of hope for those who needed it most. Years passed, and Oda and Ikena continued to build a beautiful life together. Their love had been tested, but it had survived. Oda had faced the darkness of rejection, the shame of her past, and the pain of loneliness. But through it all, Ikena's love had been her constant. Together, they had shown that love, trust, and acceptance could heal even the deepest wounds. On their 10th anniversary, Oda and Ikena stood in the garden of their home, surrounded by their children, friends, and family. They had built a life of joy and fulfillment, a life where Oda was free to be herself, fully and unapologetically. As Oda gazed at her family, she realized that the journey she had taken had been worth every step. She had found peace. She had found love. And most importantly, she had found herself. The scars of her past no longer defined her. They were just part of the story that had made her stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. She had learned that the most powerful form of love was the love you give to yourself. And with that love, she had finally found her place in the world. Thank you for watching and supporting this channel. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions mean the world. Together, we're building a community of curious minds, creative ideas, and endless inspiration. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you in the next video.